This episode of Falmouth in Focus is brought to you by the following corporate underwriter.
John's Liquors, 729 Main Street, Falmouth, 508-548-2287.
This time on Falmouth in Focus, crunching our town's food data. The Falmouth Food System Assessment Report caps off years of research and hard work by local changemakers. It covers issues ranging from disappearing farmland to gaps in awareness about resources for lower-income eaters. The report has more than 200 pages of detail about how Falmouth eats and how we could eat better. We're diving deep into health, food, and flavor on Falmouth in Focus, and it starts right now. Hello and welcome to Falmouth in Focus. I'm Eileen Preston. Michael's away this time. We'll see him again soon. It's our second show of the month, and that means we're focusing all of our attention on one single theme. This time, it's the Falmouth Food System Assessment Report, newly released by FCTV member Farming Falmouth. The project was made possible by a grant from the Woods Hole Foundation, and it encompasses years of research by lead author Tyler Barron. He held community input sessions, collected focus group data, and conducted an online survey that collected hundreds of local viewpoints about eating in Falmouth. The finished report offers a hard floor of facts, figures, and recommendations that will help not only Farming Falmouth, but any other nonprofit or individual who wants to advocate for improvement in the way Falmouth gets fed. Here now is a closer look.
So it was Tyler Barron, who is one of our young board members, who first came up with this idea. I remember thinking, oh my goodness, this is an overwhelmingly ambitious project, because I have seen other food systems assessments, and I know what an incredible amount of work they take, and it's a long time commitment.
The pandemic did change a lot of people. It certainly changed the way that I see the world, and I think people sort of had a shift in the way that they relate to food. I think seeing grocery stores not having staple food items was jarring for people, and so I think that experience is actually a really connective force and allows people to understand that food can't be taken for granted.
You're listening to The Point. We're talking about ways to build and sustain local food systems. All right, Tyler, what is this food assessment that you did for Falmouth, and how are you hoping to use it?
It's a great question. So I think from a personal perspective, I consider it sort of a gift or a love letter to Falmouth. I think this is a culmination of my own care for the community and my interest in creating positive change here where I grew up. Over the past 4 years, this work has involved a variety of steps, including the Falmouth Food Survey, which got 473 responses, a grower and producer survey for those growing food in Falmouth. There were a series of input sessions that involved various stakeholders. So all of that primary information lumped together with secondary information from the Census of Agriculture and other various sources creates a picture of what is going on in Falmouth regarding the food system and what some opportunities for creating change, positive change, are.
Wow, we are really glad you're here. And just thrilled.
This bowl of strawberries represents the number of acres of agricultural land in 1951. Around this time, Falmouth would have been producing about 50% of the Massachusetts strawberry crop. And we had about 600 acres of agricultural land that were being produced in East Falmouth for strawberry fields. If this bowl of strawberries represents the number of acres in agriculture in 1951, I'm curious how many strawberries you think are left in 2024?
Two.
See, 3, lots of 3s, 2s, 1. Okay, you guys, 5, bold. Okay. So you guys are good. We have about two strawberries left.
My family came to Falmouth to be strawberry farmers. I wouldn't be here without farming.
Farmland is disappearing, and it's disappearing rather fast. My calculations had led me to the fact that Falmouth has approximately 166 acres of farmland left dedicated to growing food, which excludes cranberries. And to put that in perspective, that's like a tenth the size of the Crane Wildlife Area.
Not a lot, yeah.
It's not much space.
In the last 2 years, we've lost a lot of agricultural lands. The development that's happening right now is so rapid. There's a value to agriculture that's inherently hard to quantify. It's not even necessarily the food that we produce, it's about maintaining those skills. If you look back at our town, it used to be an agrarian community, and that's all gone. Practically, we're losing the skills that we need to sustain ourselves. Things happen.
We'll have an 18-wheeler from the food bank arrive with 12,000 pounds of food for us. We'll have 6,000 pounds for the Mashpee Christ the King Pantry, and another 8,000 pounds for the Martha's Vineyard Food Pantry. And we'll essentially get all that food unloaded here in the back of the warehouse. We'll have a team of around 8 guys. We'll put everything away in about 45 minutes. It's really a quick morning, but it's amazing what gets done in that small amount of time. Since I've been here, which is now a little over 6 years, I've seen the average weekly growth go from around 180 households per week to now over 600. It's amazing the need here in town, and we're just here trying to help as many households as we can. And it hasn't been easy, but we live in a great community.
A food system is invisible to most people.
Right.
We see food pantries. We think about that. Oh, we're sorry that some people don't have food, but the system is so much more complex than that. And I think it's a wonderful trend, a phenomena happening right now that people are beginning to realize. Oh, there's more, and it's our goal just to bring that conversation to the table.
SNAP stands for the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, a federal food benefit program that serves 1 in 6 residents in Massachusetts. The SNAP gap is the difference in the population of people who are eligible for SNAP, eligible for benefits, and the people who are actually enrolled. So in Massachusetts, the SNAP gap is about 53%. And in Falmouth, the SNAP gap is about 59%. In Falmouth, that amounts to about 5,000 people who could be making use of SNAP benefits and are not, and that's 15% of the population.
The SNAP gap is incredible information because it really tells us that there's an underutilization and a larger need. I wish more people utilize the benefit because it's not something to feel shamed about. In this economy, the numbers are just scary, and I think elderly people, especially on fixed income, might not think they're eligible, and there might be a lot of shame wrapped up in some of that, like accepting this after working your whole life and like accepting this benefit, or somebody needs it more than me, is another attitude I hear. But I think that if there's a need, you should reach out and apply.
A lot of the policies around food on a local level, I think, have been sort of underaddressed, and the world of like food system planning has not been well understood. It is a complex system. There's a lot to understand.
The food system assessment basically gives us a baseline. We may know a lot of this experientially, but we didn't have hard data to support the things we know are happening. And you really can't plan efficiently unless you actually know what the real situation is like.
The community partners, the collaborations that were in that room, excited to hear the report. The town was there, the newspaper was there, farmers were there, local nonprofits, the faith community was there. Just so interesting to see the collaborations that could percolate up. It was just an amazing energy in that room.
The Falmouth Food System Assessment Report appears to have made a splash at our local paper. In its March 14th edition, the Falmouth Enterprise printed an editorial entitled, "It's About the People," which called the food system report, quote, "a masterful piece of work." The editorial goes on to say, it's about ensuring that everyone has access to healthy food, that locally sourced foods are prioritized, and that the people within the community are empowered to set priorities for their own food system. It's a valuable document to build from. You can download a copy of the Falmouth Food System Assessment for your very own. It's at farmingfalmouth.org/FSA. And that's going to do it for this deep dive edition of Falmouth in Focus. We'll be back soon with the usual monthly roundup of local events. And we'll see Michael again soon. Until next time, we'll see you around town.